this is Billy from TMI Incorporated. And it's like, Billy? It's like, yeah? It's like, didn't you used to date Jesse? Back in no, I don't know. I don't think we met. It's like, yeah, I think you did. She was a total slut. Do you know how many people she was banging? Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. This is episode number 70. On this show, we like to talk about comic books, movies, TV shows, video games, political discourse sometimes, but always Star Trek. I am your host, Tactic Angel, and with me is Midget Radio, my murderous socialist friend.
Hello,
Midget Radio. How are you today?
I'm doing all right, Tactic Angel. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty decent. You know, not too bad.
Good.
Settling in.
More on the positive than the negative, it sounds.
Well, I wanna project that image.
You're doing a fantastic job by telling everyone that's what you want to do.
I'm having a great time. Now let me drown my sorrows in alcohol. Hey, are you drinking any alcohol?
I am drinking alcohol. I'm pulling a little bit today. I'm drinking the Oktoberfest.
Ooh, beer.
Yeah,
wow, this is beers. Maybe the second time you've ever done that.
I know. It's still a new thing for me.
I'm not really sure.
I think it's the first for the show anyway, but yeah.
Well, I brought up two different whiskeys for two different recordings.
Oh boy, is one of them writer's tears?
Yeah, do you think I'm pouring that one right now?
Oh boy.
The Writer's Tea, Copper Pot Irish Whiskey, 40% alcohol by volume, product of Ireland, 750 milliliters. Tactic Angel really likes this whiskey, and its name is curiously relevant.
Yeah. Apropos.
All right, so we're talking about obviously a really stellar thing today. All right, you want me to start us off? Here we go.
Fuck yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, the premiere show for the Marvel Netflix TV small screen blitz was Daredevil, Marvel's Man Without Fear. The first season sailed easily past the sort of middling to embarrassing comic book adaptations that we've seen to that point on the small screen and sailed over, in fact, hurtled over Ben Affleck's blundering Daredevil movie that they erected a few years beforehand, in a way that, unfortunately, 2012's Dread movie, in spite of its quality, could not overcome the mistrust after the Sylvester Stallone Judge Dredd film, which I would argue was actually a better movie than Daredevil.
Jesus Christ, yeah.
I mean, Judge Dredd, better than Daredevil.
Jesus Christ, yes, yeah.
Okay, good. We're still in the introduction, though, so shut the fuck up. With the bar set improbably high, Daredevil moved into Season 2. The series was primed for a letdown, but the worst thing you could probably say about it was that Foggy and Karen were still in the show, and that there wasn't quite anything as good as the hallway fight. In fact, few comic book movies can boast the sort of pure cinematic badassery of the hallway fight, even if they're feature films. It's true.
Yeah.
Where it arguably did soar past the superb first season was the inclusion of John Bernthal as the surprisingly compelling vigilante Frank Castle, better known as the Punisher, and the always alluring Elodie Yung as Elektra.
Thank you. I was going to kick your ass if you didn't mention her as well. But...
Well, it's Midget Radio's dead girlfriend.
God, she's amazing.
Sometime after Season 2, Daredevil was in the Defenders series, which didn't do him a lot of favors, nor did it help Elektra, as she died a second time when a building collapsed on both Daredevil and his murderous love interest. Season 3 commences with the unhappy task of resurrecting Matt Murdock and then trying to tell a compelling story. Midget Radio did it do so.
God, I don't even know how to start this. Because like I can't overstate how much I love Vincent D'Onofrio. Obviously, I think we all do. But I really love Charlie Cox at this point too. I just love his portrayal of Matt Murdock and Daredevil. But overall, this is, I think, clearly at the very least the weakest of the 3 seasons of Daredevil that we have seen.
It sounds like you're really struggling against saying that it wasn't very good.
I don't. Is there something wrong with us? Because I feel like you're kind of on the same page, but like in just looking at the general reviews of Daredevil online, there's a lot of praise behind this season, and I don't fucking get it.
I can tell you for sure I don't fucking get it. And on the bright side, you did agree that we were going to do a blow by blow review of this. So maybe in this exploration we can find out, where both of us are right, which I think is going to be usually, or maybe in the minor differences we can sort of pry open those gaps and realize that we're just being a couple of cunts.
Maybe
about this whole thing.
If I'm a cunt, I would love to. I really want to know. I genuinely want to know. I will say, like, I mean, honestly, and this has been true for other series, but like, I was really into this for about the first half, and mostly I really dug Charlie Cox for the most part for like the first half of this season. I really liked him.
See, I actually got fairly quickly annoyed with him.
Yeah.
And then I noticed something about kind of how I feel all of the not so good Marvel TV shows are written, but we'll get into that once we get into the spoilery stuff.
Yeah.
But And kind of to go back to your D'Onofrio thing, like I love Vincent D'Onofrio, and I feel like in the first episode he does a pretty decent job. I understand when I say pretty decent job, I mean like he has interesting things to do and he does them in an interesting way.
Yeah.
And for like the first 2 episodes, yes, and then like it feels like he is just pulling a lot of weight. And he sort of falls into this one sort of pregnant line delivery routine that like is interesting, but like if Fisk is just playing that one note for most of the season, sadly, then it kind of takes away from like what Vincent can do, and Then I start to get like maybe unreasonably critical of the show because it's like, look at the fabulous toys that you have to play with, and you just didn't do anything with them.
Yeah.
And so some of it's kind of like the sin of just creating something mediocre out of something that was really good.
Yeah. I mean, I can see.
And
that.
I don't think this is even mediocre, but whatever. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, it's hard to say. It's hard to say because there are I mean, there are a few things that I liked about this season, but the bad stuff is glaringly bad. And in a lot of ways kind of unforgivably so. Which is it's because but I mean I don't know, I came into it kind of, I think season 1 and season 2 were fucking grand slams basically. I mean they're just fucking fantastic from start to end. I love them both, and I wasn't expecting that out of this season. Like, it's okay for Daredevil to just
I think it's
hit a single, it's fine,
right.
but
it can just get on base, and that's
Yeah.
You do need the highs and the lows to make the highs noticeable.
Sure.
So you can't have. I mean, even if we look at things that we love, if we look at Star Trek, like there are lots of bad episodes.
Yes, there
of Star
are
Trek.
plenty of those. Yeah.
There are even among the movies that we like, a couple of ones that are not very good.
Sure.
And that's to say it nicely. Hell, I mean, you can talk about Star Trek: The Motion Picture. It's probably not a good movie.
It's a great movie, but yeah, I mean,
but we both like it.
Of course we do.
Star Trek V. I mean,
goddamn, yeah.
There are things about that movie that I love, but would I tell you it's a good movie? Fuck no. We can look at Star Wars. There's a reason why people talk about Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
Of course, with Star Wars at this point, I think the majority of the movies are crap.
Yeah. Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, with all these things, we can go out. We can point to a series that we love that have, really good episodes, and then we have the episode where Dr. Crusher falls in love with the ghost of a man who banged her grandmother.
Yeah.
And that was not so good.
No.
So
she was gonna leave the Enterprise for that son of a bitch, man.
Yeah, live on Irish planet.
Beverly, what are you doing?
That's the weird thing. We always complain about like Star Wars. You go to a planet and it's one biome.
Yeah.
Like somewhere out there in the Star Wars galaxy, there's water planet, there's desert planet.
Yep.
Those two are very different.
Yep.
If it goes on long enough, eventually it'll be like parking lot planet.
Easily.
Where there's not even a store.
Easily.
It's just asphalt and striped lines.
And then conversely, there is a store. There's Costco planet. Fucking.
Yeah. There's nowhere to park.
Nope. But there's so many items at great discount prices.
They are all on sale. You would not believe the size of the whiskey bottles you can buy at Planet Costco Planet.
Whew, already off the rails.
But Star Trek has weird things like Irish People Planet.
Yeah. It's always like one tribe or one fucking town planet or one village. Like, I always thought that was kind of weird. It's just it's just one town and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
On the whole planet.
We all thought that we would live right here.
Good job.
Everybody lands. They just pick a place on Earth. Yeah, it's like, turns out you're living in New Jersey. It's fine.
It's great.
It's fine. It's like, do you want any more land? Nah.
This is New Jersey.
I love being around people. That's the thing. That's why I moved to a distant planet. So anyway,
yeah.
There are. This isn't okay. This isn't one of the episodes of Star Trek where you're like, oh, I kind of learned something, but derivative, or there was, the B plot didn't quite come together for me.
Yeah.
That said, there are some really terrible things that happen in this season. Yeah, there are. And I think there is a lot of lazy writing.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Throughout this season, I was thinking that because it's actually a new showrunner as well, which I feel like is probably maybe the problem. But I had kind of thought that the showrunner had looked at like Luke Cage and Jessica Jones and Iron Fist, and he was like, well, look at what they get away with. So fuck it.
Yeah. Or I don't know. Maybe he watched all of them, and that's where he kind of like they all got averaged together, and most of that stuff isn't good.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sadly, I guess we both kind of liked Jessica Jones season 2.
Yeah.
Kind of. Maybe begrudgingly. I think we might have been also grasping at things that weren't quite there.
True.
But like both seasons of Iron Fist are letdowns.
Yeah.
Season 1 of Luke Cage is watchable. Season 2 is mostly somewhat watchable. Strangely most watchable when that one minstrel show guy was on there.
Oh yeah. Whatever that fucking guy's name was.
Because he kind of turned around there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had a nice.
And you're like,
he had a nice moment. You're like, oh, I like kind of.
And you're
this
like,
guy.
maybe this whole act that he's putting on is really just an act because he's vulnerable. Fuck him.
Yeah,
we're gonna kill him.
Yeah, screw it. That's the end of that character.
Spoiler alert: that guy dies. If you liked him and you haven't watched it yet, he dies.
Yeah, he fucking dies.
So they introduced some new characters in this. We can talk about them sort of generally.
Yeah.
What was your opinion of Dex or Benjamin Poindexter?
I don't know, man. I was back and forth. I liked and didn't like. I thought kind of interesting, and then also this is stupid. So yeah,
really kind of straight into lots of uncomfortable territory.
Oh sure,
and then also fairly unbelievable too.
Mm-hmm. That's common throughout this season, but yeah.
Okay.
I will say this. Well, can we say who he is? Is that a fucking spoiler? I mean, doesn't everybody know now? But
what is it? It's long shot or what's
Bullseye? Yeah, that he's Bullseye. Yeah, so he's Bullseye. So I will say, it's the best portrayal of Bullseye I've ever seen. So there's that.
Out of 2.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of walked away from that this season wondering if that's how he's really supposed to be. Now he is much more of a character than, oh gosh, who played him? Is that Colin?
Oh yeah,
Farrell?
Colin Farrell. Yeah.
I can't believe I remember that. Yeah. I've seen that movie exactly one time, and that was too many.
Yeah.
They also introduce us to a Joe person.
Yeah.
Ray Nadine.
Yeah.
Nadine.
Yeah.
I actually kind of like that character.
Yeah.
I don't really like that character.
Yeah.
I like the actor's portrayal of the character. Yeah. I think he does a good job, but I think that character is obnoxiously he's not a character.
He's extraordinarily predictable.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he does the things that you expect him to do. But I mean, I agree. Like the actor himself does them pretty well. So
he still felt like a human. He just felt well, not exactly. He felt like some idyllic form of a human. Yeah,
I can kind of see that. I honestly, I feel like just a lot of the overall plot elements of this show just ruin these fucking characters. And he is in particular one of them that it just ruins. Because it's just there's so much stuff about this season that is just so completely unbelievable and just poorly written. That I think it just ruins a lot of it ruins a lot of these characters.
It really does.
Because it turns them into puppets, basically. And we'll talk more about that in the spoilers. But that's one of the things that's frustrating about this season.
Do we want to get to that? Do we want to just rate this thing?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
Okay. Because God only knows how long this episode's going to be.
Oh, boy.
Well, we managed to talk about it for about 20 minutes. About 5 of that was Star Trek.
That's
but
true.
Whatever.
Well, you got to do that. We got to get that in.
We promise Star Trek every week.
We do.
And almost every week we deliver. Midget Radio, old school Netflix scale. What would you be clicking on season 3? As though you can rate the seasons differently.
I know. Probably 2. I'm probably at 2 stars on this one.
I was considering how much I disliked this. And there was... The highest I've gotten is 2. And the lowest I've gotten was 1. So I think I have to split the difference and just go with the 1.5.
All right.
I will probably never watch season 3 again.
No, I don't think I will either. No.
But with that, we can go to the brutal blow-by-blow, episode-by-episode stream of consciousness, hate-filled ramblings of two drunken assholes. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. Episode 1, Resurrection. After being hurt a little by a high-rise collapsing on him and the defenders, Matt Murdock gets flushed out the toilet. A taxi driver finds Matt and gets him to Father Paul Lantham. Father Lantham puts Matt under the care of Sister Maggie. As he slowly recovers, Matt is super mad at God because his girlfriend died and dedicates himself to beating the shit out of people as Daredevil rather than being Matt Murdock because that makes character sense.
Yeah.
He tries this a little and is on the receiving end of his first ass-kicking of the season for his efforts. Meanwhile, we're introduced to Ray Nadeem, an FBI agent whose only flaw straight out of the gate is that he tries to shield his family from the cost of his crushing virtue.
Yeah.
Tell me I'm not wrong.
I mean, it's true. It's just perfectly fucking set up. Yeah.
He meets with Wilson Fisk, who's in jail, and elicits the first gravelly, I would do anything to protect Vanessa line of season 2. Midget Radio, tell me how I have screwed up the synopsis of episode 1.
Oh, it's pretty straight. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah. I'm on board, though. I mean, we may split here, but I was completely on board with Charlie Cox this whole time.
I thought he was a little... I thought he was a little annoying for the first 3 or 4 episodes as he's kind of in the recovery mode.
Yeah.
The thing is, I actually, at this point, was kind of enjoying the back and forth between the hard love of Sister Maggie.
Yep, me too. Yeah.
Because she is playing, in a lot of ways, a stereotype. And it's a stereotype that we only usually get one side of, which is the knuckle breaking sister.
Yeah.
But then when she sees that, like, she can't beat him into virtue, then she becomes gentle and I'm going to say this word because it's going to become unfortunate later, motherly towards him. and like, I liked her specifically in the first 3 seasons when we first see her just like treating him like he's an asshole.
Yeah.
And then at some point, I think it's after he gets either his first or second ass kicking, she's like really endearing towards him, and I liked that.
Yeah. Me too. I like that relationship. And I liked pissed off Matt Murdock. I liked him pissed off at God. I liked all of that shit. I liked how beaten and torn up he was. And how abandoned he felt because, like, right, he wakes up in the first episode and he realizes that he basically doesn't have his powers anymore. Like that he is essentially blind now. He doesn't have those extra senses or anything like that because he's all fucked up. And he's acting like a bitch about it. But I love it. And I think it's like just so completely consistent with how Matt Murdock has been in these first 2 seasons. That's why I love Charlie's performance in this so much, because that is Matt Murdock. He basically is an angry fucking kid. And it's and this was such a completely natural reaction for him to have, being this severely injured, to take it out on God and to be this fucking victim and be goddamn and just be extremely pissed off about it. I just really liked it. Like I was really on board with that. It just felt like a dark path for a character to turn down, but it was a path that I think was earned and was consistent with his portrayal throughout this entire series. And I think Charlie Cox just does an excellent job with it.
So they bring up kind of one thing, and there was a second thing that came to my mind. I made a few notes also that I have written down on a sheet of paper as I was actually watching it. So these are authentic Tactic Angel reactions. This is the real goal.
This is a rare treat. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Like they start retelling the story of Job. And immediately he cuts Sister Maggie off. And like I kind of liked that, but like for me to really get into it's not even really Matt Murdock's descent into nihilism. It's Matt Murdock descending into kind of a hatred against God, because he's still definitely a believer.
Yeah.
And you can see that.
Yeah.
He's just so mad at God that like that's interesting, because nihilism is, say what you will, it's just boring.
Yeah.
Rejecting God has a certain sort of interest that you don't see explored in media a lot. And I would have I would have been more into this storyline if like they had taken that sort of biblical story and in some way tried to thematically incorporate it into the show.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they just said Book of Job. Shut up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think I don't know this story? You probably know it better than me. Yeah, good. So there was that. There's also sort of like in the Middle Ages, during the Dark Ages, whatever you want to call them, there was a concept of religious people, and they were called flagellants, right?
Okay.
And you kind of see Monty Python makes fun of them. They're the guys who walk down the road and say "Pie su domine" and smack themselves in the head with the board.
Yeah.
In reality, usually they would whip themselves.
Yeah.
So like there was a second thing that I was thinking, and it's like, if they kind of go the flagellant route, and like it's only like through pain that he can exorcise his demons, like that would have also been interesting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you really get a sense of that. Matt Murdock certainly gets his ass kicked plenty of times in this season, but it doesn't feel like they really address why he's going to get his ass kicked all the time. It just kind of feels like when it happens, it's like, I guess he wasn't good enough.
I guess. I mean, I certainly got the sense that, I mean, he had a bit of a death wish at that point. I don't think it was out of like some sense of punishment or something like that. He was going out to start fights with people because he had, I think, a little bit of a death wish going on.
I think you're right about the death wish part.
And what I like about that is that but what's good about that is that it's not explicit, right? Right? There's not a line where Matt Murdock's going out like, I just want to die. It's not like that stupid and that on the nose. I don't even think that, like, I think the way Cox plays it, like, I'm not sure he even knows I think he's just angry. And so he's running out there, and maybe he beats somebody's ass, or maybe he dies. And either way, I think to him, he'll at least feel a little better. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what I love so much about that. Like, it's just a lot of fucking rage. And from him in the beginning of this season, and it's confused, and hard to parse out, and that's why to me I think that's what made it feel kind of raw and real, and why I kind of empathized with it.
Yeah, episode 1 I was not negative on. I thought the denial of God over his girlfriend was like not a good direction for the show. But like there are definitely elements in that first episode that they could have run with and done more.
Yeah, and I don't want to beat this too long, but it is just it just speaks to why I like this I like this character so much, is that like I don't think he's mad at God just because he lost his girlfriend or anything. I mean, what was so great about season 2 and why this like anger feels like it built on these past 2 seasons is that like I loved the conflict between him like wanting to do good and wanting to be the hero and all that shit, and this weird attraction that he has to Elektra, who's chaotic and out of control and kind of bad.
I thought you were going to say chaotic evil.
I mean, she basically is.
She's a level 7 assassin.
She basically is. But like, I love that conflict. I love that he's attracted to that, and you can see it, and you can see it's part of what draws him to be Daredevil in the first place. The fact that he gets to go out and beat on people is part of the attraction to him. So to lose that, to like, you can just when you put all of that together, you can see how fucking confused this character is at his core. He's not even completely sure why he's Daredevil. He has this romantic like belief that he's doing God's work, or he's doing good work for the city, and he's protecting innocent lives and all of that shit. He's been able to rationalize it at least that way, but that's challenged in every season of this show. And it kind of comes to a head in the beginning of season 3. And so it felt earned to me. I think like it makes sense for him to have had a kind of breakdown at this point and descend into just rage. So it was effective, but I'm done talking about that, but that's kind of what it was for me.
Episode 2. Please. That's the name of it. It's called Please. I'm not telling you to please shut up, but
you probably should be.
But you're done, and we're moving on. Okay. Ray scores some FBI points when Fisk helps get some Albanian criminals arrested. The FBI follow him, the FBI allow him to continue to work with Fisk, even though he could be easily compromised due to his crippling debt brought on by his excessive charity.
God, yeah.
After Fisk is stabbed in prison, the FBI even agrees to set him up in a penthouse. He's attacked in transit by an army of people who are almost all killed by one man, Special Agent Benjamin Poindexter.
Mm-hmm.
We are further reminded that Karen Page is still in this show, and she's given an assignment to report on not really the kidnapping, but the near kidnapping of some semi-famous person. I don't remember anything about.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, okay.
This doesn't have much to do with
No, it doesn't.
much of anything.
It really doesn't.
It kind of loops into the whole thing, but it's just so like weirdly that's going to come later about like crime magic.
Yeah.
But whatever. I actually kind of liked when Dex shows up and he kills everybody.
Yeah, I like that too.
Now, I'm not sure about the whole throwing things.
Well, whatever. I don't care, man.
I usually associate him with the firearm, though, right?
Bullseye? No, I mean he throws shit. He throws shit all the time. Yeah. I mean, usually it's like knives or some kind of actual weapon, but
In this one, he's throwing bottles and people die.
Yeah. He throws them hard. He throws them pretty hard.
Okay. It just starts to get weird.
I mean, I was fine with it. But yeah, I liked that scene. That was all together like a pretty good sequence. A pretty good action sequence for especially for a fucking TV show.
Yes. You kind of knew it was going to happen the whole time. It was fairly predictable and telegraphed.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's
a scene in a car. I wonder what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I actually don't have much to say about this episode, I don't think.
Yeah, neither do I really. I don't really remember much about it except for that sequence, and that it's the introduction to Bullseye, essentially. But it was effective enough.
One of my notes was, Foggy exists.
Yeah, Foggy's around. He's doing things.
He is, I have written down here, a constant disappointment. Apparently he should have been a butcher rather than a lawyer, and I agree.
Oh, yeah. Because whatever. Yeah.
All right. Episode number 3, No Good Deed. The public, and particularly police officers, are not happy that Fisk has been taken to his new prison cell, a penthouse suite of some hotel that apparently Fisk already owns. We'll find that out actually later.
Yeah.
Karen starts to bumble her way into the realization, this realization, because the chick who was apparently nearly kidnapped is related to somebody who got in some trouble and was represented by Fisk's lawyers. This is actually kind of I'm not sure this connection is made very solidly in the actual writing.
Yeah.
Foggy goes to pledge his unwavering loyalty to the DA. If the DA is willing to get Fisk back in jail where he belongs, the DA don't want nothing to do with that because elections.
Yeah.
Though it's not apparent he's actually running against anybody.
It doesn't seem like it. Yeah.
Kind of feels like until a couple episodes later, he doesn't have an actual opponent.
Right? Yeah.
So Matt starts sneaking around as some random blind person, starts hallucinating conversations with Fisk.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of weird that Fisk needs a physical representation for that to happen since he's fucking blind.
Yeah.
So he confronts Fisk's lawyer, Big Ben Donovan, and learns that Fisk did all of this for love. We also learn that Benjamin Dex Poindexter is a crazy person. How crazy? Stay tuned.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a lot to say about this either. I was still essentially on board. But like I don't know why it had to be like a penthouse.
This is the episode where I had my realization.
Yeah?
My realization is that the way that, or what really annoys me about the way that these Netflix shows are written is that it's like a person who doesn't know how to play pool.
Okay.
And they just walk up to the table and they hit the cue ball, or really they hit any ball.
Yeah.
And it just bounces into another ball. And that's kind of how I feel like a lot of these scenes are written, because I started like keeping track. I wrote down how many of these scenes are two people talking with each other, because it's literally 90% of the scenes where it's just like two people talk to each other, then two other people talk to each other, and then two more people talk to each other. And it's just like, oh my gosh, can we do something different?
Okay.
There's a fight scene. Now two people talk with each other.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
I don't know, Tech. I feel like that's a lot of shows.
It might be.
Two people talking to each other.
But like, I started a tally, and it was two people, like 1v1.
Okay.
Where three people were talking, which would at least have a little bit more dynamism.
Sure.
Or if there were 4 or more people who had at least one line of dialogue.
Okay.
So this is extraordinarily liberal in how I was tallying this stuff. We came up with, for this episode, when I started keeping track, 10 people talk 1v1, 2 people talk where there are 3 or more people. Those are the two lawyers in Fisk, who are essentially the same person in Fisk, but we'll count it anyway. And Foggy, some lady, and the attorney general. The some lady in this show says something about you have 5 minutes. She is not actually part of the show. So no, it's just like you kind of get like the monotonous nature of how they write the scenes, and I am 100% certain that this is not how Star Trek is written. And I honestly think, like, to a certain extent, like, take Frank Castle. Now, it makes some sense that you're going to have a lot of scenes that have Frank and Micro talking.
Yeah.
Or the Punisher talking with maybe one other person.
Yeah.
The Punisher is definitely a loner. And you might argue, well, Tactic Angel in this episode, or in this season, Matt Murdock is also a loner.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why everybody else around them only have like one-on-ones, right? So Fisk only talks to one person at a time, except when he talks to both of his lawyers.
Yeah.
Like, Big Ben, he's a real character. I don't know who the other guy is or if he even has a name. But, like, they don't really make those people seem like characters. They're just lawyer 1 and lawyer 2.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
So it just starts to annoy me. We're going to talk about this more.
Okay. None of that bothers me at all. Not at all. I don't care about the number of people talking on screen. I mean, the scenes, it depends on whether the scenes are kind of interesting or not. For the most part, everything in this episode was, whatever. It's just moving the fucking plot forward, that's all.
This is the first time that I noticed it, and this is when I started keeping track.
Oh, God. Okay.
Episode number 4. The episode's name is Blindsided. Matt and Foggy meet up, and Matt's like, hey, man, I'm not dead, but I can't hang out anymore.
Fuck you anyway.
Foggy's like, what the hell, bro? And apparently the point of the scene was that Matt pickpockets his friend.
Yeah.
For later.
Yeah.
So Foggy's convinced by his strangely attractive girlfriend, Marcy, to run for governor.
DA. But yeah.
DA, yeah, that's right. You don't think Marcy's attractive?
No, I definitely do.
Here's the thing about Marcy and Foggy. Marcy's pushing 7-8 territory easy.
Yeah.
Foggy is like a 3.5. Right? He's a schlub.
Yeah, he's just a schlub. Yeah, he's a schmo. Yeah.
Foggy looks like the kind of person who could play the gamer in a live action version of South Park's Warcraft episode. Easy.
Sure.
So anyway, Marcy convinces him to run for DA because Fisk wouldn't dare assassinate a low-profile, nobody write-in district attorney candidate.
Right.
Meanwhile, faux Foggy, who is Matt Murdock, the man without fear, enters prison to talk to a guy. The guy doesn't want anything to do with Matt's plan because he prefers living.
Yeah.
Matt gets punched, so he has to go see a medic. The medic naturally tries to kill Matt. Then everybody tries to kill Matt, but Matt convinces the Albanians not to kill Matt.
Yeah.
The Albanians help Matt out, probably multiplying the number of people who can reasonably consider Matt to be Daredevil by a factor of 10 in the process. Matt stumbles into a taxi, passes out, and then is strangely not murdered before being driven into a river.
Yes.
So this episode was clearly let's have the hallway fight.
Yeah, we need another hallway fight. Yeah.
I do not consider this fight to be hallway worthy or even staircase worthy.
No, it was okay. I mean, it was fine. Honestly, all it is it just distinguished like how Daredevil approaches fight scenes versus almost any other piece of media, which I enjoy because Daredevil fights are generally fucking brawls, and I like that aspect of them. But I mean, there wasn't anything like new or interesting here, so it just felt strange. It felt strangely timed to me, and it was a weird decision for him to have to be fighting as Murdoch and not Daredevil. Because then you have that in the back of your mind the whole time, which I think kind of gets in the way. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Everyone knows who he is now because he's blind and he's kicking everybody's ass. Like
they all think Foggy Nelson.
Yeah. So it just kind of gets that aspect of it. I feel like just kind of gets in the way of the fight, which was, I mean, it was fine. You know, it was fine. I enjoyed it, but
yeah,
it's and then it's also obligatory. The obligatory nature of it as well.
I kind of, I know they want their Goodfellas sort of they want their Goodfellas brawling shot, and like the length of it is impressive.
Yeah,
and if there are cuts in it, and I wouldn't be surprised if there actually were one or two hidden cuts.
Yeah.
Even then, it's still an impressive amount of stuff. Because, like, we can talk about, like, we could go back to Children of Men. Children of Men has one of those shots.
Yeah.
And it's actually blurred together. It's, like, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But the fact that it feels like one is still a fucking feat.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. But it is, like, it's also starting to go the way of the fucking Matrix shit, too, right? Let me stop the action and fucking pan around what's happening. That's really cool. And then it's in Swordfish and it's in fucking every other movie after that. And it just gets tiresome and loses its effect. And I kind of feel like that's where we're headed now.
Do you think so? Because, like, we just saw that movie Mile 47.
Mile 22? Yeah.
Mile 22. And, like, that has one good fight scene in it. And it has, like, it's 5 minutes long and has 230 cuts.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's still way more common. Like you expect it in Daredevil because that's their gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of can't give them a whole lot of props for this because, like, if it is just a gimmick, then it's just, I mean, it's a gimmick. You have to do it. And it's, you know, woo, look, they did it. They did a thing that I expected them to do.
Yeah.
But on a tactical level, they still did a good job. I just don't think that you see this all that often. And hell, if they could do it all that often, I think that would make a lot of action feel more authentic.
I don't know, because I can think, because it was definitely an Old Boy. Maybe it's just because I've seen other movies with it, but it's in Old Boy, which is a Korean movie, and then it's in The Protector, a Tony Jaa movie, and it's an awesome fucking sequence in that. My God, it's awesome. He's just running up these hotel stairs and beating everybody's ass on the way up. It's fucking amazing. So I don't know. I feel like I've seen this probably half a dozen, if not more than that, times now. In various movies and TV shows. Wasn't there? There was another one. Oh, they did it in an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode also.
Was that the first episode?
No, it wasn't the first episode. I can't remember what it was. But they definitely, I can't remember what episode it was. But it was cool. Like, they did a good job. It was cool there too. But, like, the effect of it is definitely wearing on me. I don't care as much anymore. Like, now I've seen it a bunch of times, and, you know, it's cool. It's not like I don't want to see it, but
I actually did when I was writing up these little synopsises. I did go back and watch the hallway fight.
Yeah,
it holds up.
It's so simple. It's so simple and it's so perfect, and it's the right amount of time, and it's clever too. Like, that's the thing I love about the hallway fight is the cleverness of it. Like, what the camera doesn't show is as entertaining as what you do see. I love when it just pans down the hallway and he's in the fucking room, and you just see a fucking printer fly out the window and hit a dude who's about to go in there and try to help out. Like,
I believe it was a microwave.
A microwave. It was just it's just fucking clever. And simple, and a small contained area, but now it's like, well, we got to go bigger, you know. So now we're doing the whole fucking jail, and it's just, yeah, it does exactly what you expect a fucking sequel to do: be bigger, be fucking longer, and apparently that means better.
Yeah, I guess. I guess if more is better, then this was more, and it was definitely better, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
What other things did I say about that? I said Matt and Foggy. Matt, why would you pickpocket your friend so that you could break in and get him disbarred?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty bad, but Matt's kind of an asshole at this point.
Foggy has a speech in this that I wrote down is full on amateur hour.
I don't know. What was it?
I don't remember what it was. I remember he was announcing his campaign or something, and it's just platitude.
Oh, well, it's
platitude.
Well, it's a campaign, so you know.
it felt so lazy. This must have been the same episode that he announces his candidacy to the union of.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it's politics. What the fuck? Especially now. What do you expect now?
This is also the episode where Karen has a gun, which also suspension of disbelief issue with her having a concealed carry permit in New York, of all places, and threatens to kill people over catcalls.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, why is this in here? Never mind that I know why it's in here. But why? This didn't do anything.
Well, I mean, it was a little more than catcalls, but...
if it weren't for that scene, though, it would have skewed the sort of the numbers that I was coming up with.
Oh, great.
So we have
number of 2 people in scenes. Jesus Christ.
13.
Great.
3 with 3 and 2 with 4 or more. This was actually one of the better episodes.
Yeah.
Where this index matters.
Okay.
You're keeping track, man. In the future, there'll be like the Tactic Angel Index. It's not well written.
Jesus Christ. I would like for anybody who's listening to this to comment if this if this statistic is finding any purchase with you at all.
Number of
2 people scenes, number of 3
you go
people
back,
scenes.
you go back, you watch The Martian, you will realize why that movie isn't any good. Based on the Tactic Angel.
Tactic Angel math, it doesn't work out.
It doesn't work out. Nope. It's got a bad ratio.
That's awesome. That was episode 4?
That was episode 4. Episode 5, The Perfect Game. This episode is basically about Dex being a crazy person who murders his coach because his coach takes him out of a game when he is in the middle of pitching a perfect game, which, by the way, would never fucking happen.
In Little League?
You let the kid try to pitch. You always let somebody try to pitch a perfect game.
Yeah.
That's just the rules. That's how it works.
Even in Little League, really?
Yes,
you don't
absolutely.
Have like mandatory participation. Some stupid drunk dad put my fucking kid in the game.
Great, he can play third base if he's pitching a perfect game. Who gives a fuck? So anyway, Dex sees a psychiatrist for a long time.
Yeah.
Somehow none of this comes up on his background check to be an FBI agent.
Apparently not. I don't know.
And as I understand it, they actually look into FBI agents' backgrounds.
I don't know. Seems like that's fake.
They fucking reference it in the first episode of this TV show. So anyway, Dex sucks with women, but manages to go on a date with Julie, which is so so unnatural that it makes even me feel like Don Juan DeMarco.
I kind of liked it a little bit, but yeah.
Oh, God. I had to stop for the night watching that and then restart it. And because it was just like so cringe.
I kind of liked it.
So Karen confronts Fisk's fixer. Why did I write that?
Fixer.
Well, Karen confronts Fisk's fixer.
Wow.
Who knows everything and scares her a lot, which sets a precedent for Karen pretty much crying in every episode for the rest of the season.
My God. Yeah.
I swear to God, I said this in the first season. They hired this lady because she can cry on cue.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not even to the yeah. Let me just say, at this point, Midget Radio still tolerates Karen Page as a character. Tolerates. Barely. But man, that comes to a head.
One of my notes in here relating to this is Karen starts crying, no way, exclamation point.
Yeah.
Date is super cringe. The only thing I have left is my vote. God, what a... Okay. That was... Foggy has that quid pro quo fundraiser in his meat shop.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, that woman walks up to him and says, the only thing I have left is my vote. And you're like, please do not burden us with that if that's the only thing you're living for. The only thing I live to do is inflict my will upon other people.
Good Lord.
I don't remember what this was about. Why would I have written down fucking magic?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know. Unless it has to do with Bullseye doing some bullshit.
Somebody says, I want to kill you for dying. That was a line.
Oh, yeah. Bullseye says it. Yeah, right? He says it to his psychiatrist because she has, like, cancer or some shit. Yeah. 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 I kind of, like, I was all right with all of that. I liked how crazy he was. I kind of enjoyed it.
There was a part of me that flashed back to Sam Harris.
Okay.
Because it's like, I did it on purpose. It's not your fault. What would Sam Harris do with you, kid?
Yeah. Well, nothing is your fault. You're just a fucking meat robot.
I feel like the answer is, if you take Sam Harris's philosophy, you have to kill the kid.
Yeah,
but
totally.
If you take Sam Harris's opinion, then I guess no harm, no foul.
Well, yeah. I mean, he can't help it.
Yeah.
You know.
Nobody can help nothing.
Mm-mm.
So who cares?
Exactly.
It's fine.
Yeah.
We're being unfair, but I don't care.
We are. I don't give a shit either. So.
You know, Sam, if you're out there and you're listening, I'm sure you are.
Go fuck yourself.
Just remember that perhaps the only thing that existentialism gave us is that we can all see the world in different ways.
Oh my God.
And this is how we see it.
Yep. That's it.
This is how we see you.
That's fucking it. Fucking prick. Anyway.
This show ranks pretty low on the Tactic Angel ratio meter. Tracking in at 11, 1 and 1.
Okay. 11, 1 and 1 conversations.
And that one at the end was because several extras have one line while talking in the meat shop.
Oh, good for them.
So, still pretty thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a ratio, man. It's very important. Everybody knows about the Tactic Angel ratio.
Yeah, everybody does. It's a big thing.
They care.
They do. They do. I do kind of like it now.
It's just about not being repetitive. And
I guess, yeah.
I was starting to it just felt like one person goes over here, and it's the same kind of thing that I got frustrated with watching the first season of Jessica Jones, because Jessica Jones will go talk to somebody, and then somebody else will go talk to somebody else, and then
that's how
Hellcat.
I just feel like that's how shows work. Tactic Angel, somebody talks to somebody, then you'll fucking talk to other people, and the plot moves forward, and somebody hits somebody.
No, but if you watch, there's usually a certain energy level associated with one person talking with one person.
Yeah.
And like you, particularly if your characters aren't particularly well written, or you're not taking the time to like express them in their full capacity, then it's just like one person plays one note, the other person plays another note, and and that's not that interesting. You get a third person in there who might, even if they're poorly written, might throw some additional ideas in there. By the time you get 4 or 5, you're talking about a Star Trek episode where people are sitting around a table and you're actually getting some investigation into whatever idea they're talking about.
I do not want to belabor this, but like, it's the same by that analysis, right? Then shows like Law and Order and fucking NCIS and every other goddamn criminal investigation show with the larger cast is somehow much better and more energetic, because they start every scene with a total of like 10 lines that they just randomly distribute to these people as they're putting a case together. They went over to point A and point B. Oh, did you know that point B was over here? Point C. Point C, that's different. And it doesn't matter who says them. It doesn't fucking matter, because it's just a way. It's just a we're putting the case together. We got 5 people on the screen. Everybody gets a line. That's it. It's stupid. It's not. I'm not sure it's a great way to measure the quality of any particular scene.
I'm measuring my dissatisfaction. Tactic Angel ratio. Here we go.
All right, moving on.
Episode number 6. We're almost to the halfway point.
God damn it.
The Devil You Know. Dex talks to Fisk about his not girlfriend problems. Fisk strangely admits that he hired Julie, and then he, rather than Julie, should be Dex's North Star, because Julie's a cute, nice person, but Fisk is also a child murderer. Well, that doesn't sound right. What he is a person who murdered someone while he was a child.
Yeah, patricide.
Which does make him a child murderer, but just not
true.
What you think when
not
you
a
say,
murderer of childs.
Not a murderer of childs. So Karen tells Foggy that she killed a guy. Foggy says it's okay.
Oh, yeah, he's fine with it, yeah. Which it is fine, yeah. God.
They managed to catch up with the guy who shanked Fisk, who's willing to go in and expose Fisk. Agent Nadine is also going to show up for this testimony because he wants to bring Matt Murdock into custody.
Yeah.
Dex shows up as Daredevil and kills the guy.
Oh, and like everybody. Yeah.
Matt gets handed another ass kicking.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say. The show hasn't like jumped off a fucking ledge at this point, though. For me, like it made sense what they were doing. I liked it. Fuck. I don't completely understand. Like, so right, like the thing that drives Bullseye to work under Fisk is essentially the fact that like the FBI for some reason is like, you killed too many people. I didn't understand that element, but they're like, you killed too many people, so we have to like investigate you and do all this bullshit. And he's like, man, the fucking FBI is like not they don't have my back, so I guess this fat son of a bitch does, so I'm gonna do whatever he says. I don't know, a lot of that felt kind of like unearned to me, but at this point I was still like, I was forgiving it. It's like, it's Bullseye, he's supposed to be a bad guy, fine. If this is how he does it, fine. I don't have to. We don't have to completely explore this character for me to accept it. But I don't know. I was still largely okay at this point with the show.
I was pretty annoyed, and to say that I was annoyed is not to say that this was unsalvageable, but it does get worse.
Well, yeah. Yes, it does.
I wrote down a thing here. I don't understand Chinese stars. An FBI agent with Chinese stars.
I don't know.
Is that
Bullseye? Or is that
FBI agent with Chinese stars?
Just another FBI agent?
I guess.
That's maybe government issue, Chinese stars.
I do have written down here, how is Bullseye stabbing people with a blunt stick?
He's really strong.
Yeah. Office fight. Why is Bullseye Mr. Sonar and Daredevil is apparently blind?
Yeah, I guess maybe he just like knows, right? I guess it's process of elimination, right? I can't see you. There's a cubicle in the way, probably behind that cubicle. I don't know.
I hit you right in the face every time.
Yeah.
I guess if the other shows can get away with it, then why not?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. We're gonna soldier on.
Alrighty.
Episode 7. We are now passing the halfway mark. The media eat up the murderous new Daredevil, including Karen's boss, who apparently is on some sort of medicine that induces uncanny prescience. Karen gets fired because she suddenly forgot how to lie to him.
Yeah. I didn't understand all of that. That felt really forced to me.
Karen, do you know who Daredevil is?
Please don't ask me that question. Cry.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't completely understand the reaction from the editor either. If you know you're hiding it from me, you're fucking fired. It's like she just, you guys have this relationship, right? And she knows she's been around Daredevil, like we're aware of that. She's like, it's not fucking him, and you still get all like pissy and moany and super emotional. Like, I don't know. I didn't really buy any of that, especially from that guy, like that editor. He's like he's been a pretty like level-headed, like practical, realistic person, doesn't descend into like psychotic emotion. We've never gotten that impression from him before. And that felt like a little much to me. He's just like, well, fuck you. You're fucking fired. I know that you say that wasn't Daredevil and you were fucking there. But I don't believe you. And
beat up the guy who was killing everyone.
Exactly, right? Yeah, exactly. But I'm still so upset that I'm gonna. That just felt like whatever stupid drama. Yeah.
The other half of my description is Matt visits Melvin, the guy who built his suit.
Yeah.
Melvin got leaned on to create a suit because he didn't want anything bad to happen to his girlfriend.
Yeah.
It turns out that Melvin, in spite of being a complete simpleton, is one hell of a fighter.
Yeah.
Because the FBI shows up and Melvin really is kicking ass and taking names here.
Yeah, he's a pretty good job.
Anyway, he gets arrested and Matt runs away.
Yeah. Does pretty well with the ladies, too. Like, what is his relationship with that cop, right?
He's plowing her.
Right? He clearly is. But it's like, that's weird.
Melvin, you don't understand. Melvin is a sweet, sweet animal.
It almost seems like she's taking advantage of it. But
a little bit. Like there's a power dynamic there.
Yeah. He's fucking stupid. Whatever. Good for him, though. Not bad.
Melvin made me get into a discussion about whether or not it is even possible to say idiot savant in today's political climate.
I'm sure you can.
Because, savant's a good word, but idiot's not so good.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Tough call.
I'm going to say it because I don't really care that much about it.
You exercise that First Amendment.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
It
on
is.
this podcast for you to do
It's
that.
the biggest deal. Oh shit, we don't want to go past the numbers. Episode 6 was
All right.
11, 1, and 2, and episode 7 was 16, 2, and 2.
Wow.
So Nihilistic Dude still wears a cross. I did like the secret lair. It was very comic booky, but at the same time, it was also fucking dumb. This is when you see Fisk can like move around.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Foggy has sex with his pants on. That was a note.
Yeah.
And that's probably good.
I mean, yeah. Not a lot of nudity.
Well, and that's kind of unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I know who would be naked in this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And then we just have some normal nonsense about Karen crying and her boss being suddenly psychic and angry.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Funny thing is, the last episode, I made a note to myself that I should have started recording one-person scenes. It's Dex. He's vacuuming.
Oh,
Now
yeah.
we're gonna cut back to Dex. He's looking at what he's done to the portrait.
Yeah.
Oh, he's not very happy with it.
No, he's got to clean up the area because he needs like an ordered space and all of that shit because he's fucking crazy.
That never manifests itself.
Yeah.
Now you will be happy. At this point, I have started to lose faith in this show, and I have actually started to not take notes on each show.
Okay.
Because I was just like, holy shit, I don't care. I just have to get to the end of this.
Yeah.
Next episode is called episode number 8, Upstairs, Downstairs. Nadim realizes that Dex is Daredevil, but there's another guy named Daredevil too.
Yeah.
Dex is busy trying to sew things up with Julie. She's promptly murdered so that Fisk's goons can break up with him by text message.
Yeah.
Which seems excessive.
It does seem a
guess.
little excessive, right? Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess that's one way to solve it, but it doesn't actually make a lot of sense for Fisk, particularly as we start to realize the goddamn depth of his power. But yeah, it's whatever.
It seems quite a bit beneath him to care that much about that. And at the same time, it's like,
yeah.
I mean, it's like a 3-year-old or an 8-year-old wrote it, and they're like, of course, the only way to get rid of people is to kill them.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And it just seems like a stupid move for Fisk a little bit. Like, right?
Well,
he's just going to give up after one. Like, this chick breaks up with him via text message and he's done. And he's just going to give up after all the stalking and all of that shit. Like, he's just done. Sure. Like, he's not going to follow up on this. Don't you worry about it.
well, that, and it's like, yes, he would probably notice that she doesn't show up where she works.
Yeah.
She doesn't run anymore.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, I'm going to be your new girlfriend, boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to be your North Star. And
I like bald white guys as much as I like cute athletic chicks. So
it's kind of the same thing. I guess he did say, like, you know, it's not a sexual thing, but, you know, it is.
I know, but fucking come on. Yeah.
God damn. I live across the street from a smoking hot redhead. And I'm going to tell you right off the
I'm
bat.
excited for where this is going.
I do not stalk this person. I'm just surprised every time I see her.
Oh, okay.
I've seen her like maybe 8 times in a year and a half, which is, to say, not very often. But the first time I saw her, she was out running, and it made quite an impression.
I bet.
But like, I would probably notice if she didn't exist.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
And she is just my neighbor that I happen to notice occasionally.
Yeah.
I just, it seems weird that this guy devoted so much of his life, and you're just going to say, never talk to me again. And he's not going to be like,
yeah, okay.
he already tracked her down when she was out running and was like, oh,
yeah,
I'm just in a really bad place. You know, the FBI's trying to run over me because I just murder people for fun, and it's just not fair.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, there's more stuff that happens in this episode. Foggy tries to confront D.A. Tower, but notices the script lying on someone's dinner plate and then runs off to try to save Karen from herself. That didn't make a fucking bit of sense.
It honestly, it just made me hate Karen even more. Because, right, they had some plan, right? So he was going to confront the DA about Fisk at the policeman's unit, right? Which makes sense. Okay, the police are already pissed off that Fisk is out. Like, it makes sense.
This isn't the police. This is the business owner union of.
Yeah. That's right. But it's a public event. It's not a public event, but it's a big fundraiser. It makes sense that he would do it there, and that she was going to cover that story, right? Just to publicize it.
Yeah.
And you're like, that all makes sense. And she's like, I'm going to do that. And then she's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my own fucking stupid fucking Karen Page thing. And go confront Fisk instead and just leave Foggy hanging.
And here's
God
the thing.
Damn it.
We've already seen that Foggy is looking around for Karen.
Yeah.
But then he looks down and sees the empty dinner plate or something, and did it have Fisk's name on it? Because if it did, the font was too fucking small for me to read.
I like to believe that he just realized that Karen... Oh, yeah, this is Karen Page. This is the most melodramatic person on the face of the earth. I know exactly what she's going to do. Yeah.
So as it turns out, Karen goes to confront Fisk about killing his own dad.
Yeah.
And then tells Fisk that she murdered his buddies in hopes that Fisk would beat her up.
Yeah. In front of the FBI, and they would come in and
And that seems like a legitimate plan, and I'm almost sad it didn't work.
I know, it should have worked. Karen, if you want to be a martyr, you better make damn sure you are a martyr. It doesn't work if you are still alive.
Yeah. Well, actually, they exposed in this that if he breaks any law, that he goes back to jail.
Yeah.
So, assault and battery, like that works.
Sure.
There's one other important thing that happens in this particular episode.
Yeah.
Sister Maggie says a prayer to Jeebus.
Yep.
And reveals that she is Matt Murdock's mother.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that?
So when I heard her say that, I was like, I bet what they're going to do is the next episode, they're going to reveal that she said that in the sort of Christian sense of the word. Like, he's our son, the Christian community, that we raised him in this church. That's what she fucking means. She doesn't fucking mean she's the biological mother of Matt Murdock.
Nope, she squeezed
yeah. That's literally what I was hoping. As soon as she said that, because it was too fucking stupid for me to be able to process. And I thought, I must have misheard, or they're going to fix this in the next episode.
So this is, in fact, canon in Marvel comic books.
I'm not surprised. Because it's comic books.
But it's so fucking bad that sometimes...
so stupid.
Like, if we were to take a step back to a movie that we both kind of really want to like, but at the same time realize is completely overrated and is based on a comic book or a graphic novel that is itself overrated.
Yeah.
Watchmen.
Yeah.
Watchmen makes several fundamental improvements over the original graphic novel.
Yeah.
For one, there's not a fucking space squid in it. And then you have other shot-for-shot things that they don't do. Because at the end, when Professor Manhattan... this might be a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. But whatever, it's been out for a while. You can go fuck yourself.
Exactly.
So Dr. Manhattan kills Rorschach, which is too bad because Rorschach is literally the only part of the movie that's consistently awesome.
Yes.
In the comic book, his head just sort of explodes. And, like, it's just whatever. It's a panel.
Yeah.
In the movie, his head explodes and he falls down. And they film it from a bird's eye view. Which makes a big difference because when you look at it, you're like, oh, it's like a Rorschach.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a certain artfulness about it.
Yeah. Zack Snyder did that. Yeah.
He must have had several interns. But anyway, like, you can take a thing and you can ignore bad decisions that comic books make. You can improve upon them.
Yes, you can.
You can tweak and manipulate, and like that would be great.
Yeah.
This would have been a fantastic opportunity to not do what the comic books did.
Yeah. It was so unbelievably unnecessary. It added absolutely nothing. It only detracted from that relationship.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it kind of made you, like, hate the fact that she was I hated the fact that Maggie was in the rest of the thing.
Yeah.
Because we'll talk about it more, because we're going to go into episode number 9. At this point, I do not have I do not have additional notes that are well organized. That doesn't mean I don't have additional notes.
Sure.
But they're not well organized. So, episode number 9, Revelations. Matt is mad at Father Lantham that he didn't tell him that Sister Maggie was his mom.
God, you just know exactly how it plays out at this point. God damn it. Yeah. Well, so now we know all the steps that we have to go through. Matt has to be mad at everybody. And everybody has to feel bad about it. And God, we have to fucking deal with this God damn it.
Matt abandons the church in a literal sense and sets up shop in his dad's old gym.
Yeah.
Where he trained.
Nobody uses that gym. I don't understand why, but
I would think someone would notice, but nobody does.
Nobody knows.
Agent Nadine has figured out that Fisk has manipulated Dex and reports this to his superiors. He surrenders his badge and his gun. Yeah. And he says he'll do whatever he needs to do in order to make it right. So his boss takes the gun, shouts, "No, Nadine, don't!" And then shoots the internal affairs agent he's testified to. Then they strangely immediately stop the recording.
Yeah.
To force Agent Nadine to work with them.
Yeah. Pretty much execution style. This is Yeah. This is when it's interesting because when the shit hits the fan, it kind of hits it all at once. Because you're like, I'm already having to deal with the fact that Maggie is his mom, which is such a stupid fucking soap opera twist at this point in the series that I need some time to try to process that and determine whether I can even keep going. And then they throw this in your fucking face. Fisk just owns the FBI, apparently. What? Like, how? But I mean, at this point, this is when Fisk starts to become like, and even though this is a great movie, but it's like, it's Dark Knight Joker territory at this point. Well, he can just do fucking everything and has all the time in the world, apparently, to set up these elaborate fucking schemes that have been in process for God knows how long. I mean, it's so fucking stupid. It's such a stupid goddamn plot twist. I couldn't because it just raises all of these questions. Like, how the fuck is he doing any of this shit? He's just magic at this point. It's not manipulation. It's not like intelligent. It's not like a long con or anything like that. It's just fucking magic. It's so stupid.
Well, the thing that Batman benefits from in The Dark Knight is The Dark Knight, though it is a long movie, I think it's an hour or 2 hours and 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
it is only 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yep.
This is 13 hours.
Yeah.
And we already know that Batman can't hold that shit together for another 2.5 hours.
No, that's been pretty clear. Yeah.
Because The Dark Knight Rises was not a good movie.
No, it was not.
So, like, if you had to watch the Joker's plan unfolding,
oh my god, yeah,
speed of thought, that you could process, it would be terrible. It would be this, and the thing is, you have other things going on even in the Dark Knight, because you've got the whole Harvey Dent thing, and Harvey Dent and Rachel and Bruce Wayne and all, god damn it, there's so many moving parts in that movie that you can hardly eat, and they don't give you the time to sit around and think about, a lot of this is convenient.
Yeah.
Now it's not this level of convenient, because because you really do have to take it to the next level if you have 13 hours to kill. Yeah. But it's just, these things get so singularly focused on one big fucking plot that it starts to get stupid. Yeah. And we've said this so many times when we talk about Jessica Jones. Yeah. It's like, have an A plot, have a B plot, have throwaway episodes that just have the little sprinklings. Have the Star Trek Continues thing where you're like, the last 2 episodes, Star Trek Continues, are seeded, the 5 episodes that come before it all are planting little seeds that lead to that. Yeah. It's not this obvious A to B, B to C, C to D, and then,
God damn it. Yeah,
Dragon Ball Z to the end.
Even if like Jessica Jones was as formulaic as a show like Burn Notice, where it's like, here the first 5 minutes are about the season-long arc, and then the next 45 minutes are about whatever that episode is dealing with, and then the last 5 minutes are about the season-long arc, right? Yeah. I don't care. Do every fucking episode like that, and then resolve the season-long thing in the last 2 episodes. Yeah, that's fine. That would be a better show. As fucking formulaic as it is, like, it would be so much better.
Well, Burn Notice was, if nothing else, at least usually fun.
It was, yeah. Burn Notice is a really fun, really entertaining show. And yeah, I don't know. But the FBI thing was so fucking stupid. That reveal was so goddamn obnoxious. Because then it just raises too many questions.
It was going to happen, and you were just holding your breath, hoping it wouldn't.
It was just so stupid because, right? I mean, so it's like, is she bad? She's straight up executed.
God damn it, Ray!
Guy. She executed him. Like, how is this even remotely a good? And how the fuck does it ever get this far? This is the FBI, and they're at the mercy of one dude. Where's the FBI agent who just blows his fucking brains out? Like, just Jesus Christ, man. I mean, it's so stupid. It's so stupid because it's so fucking. It's just completely unrealistic. Now,
this did lead to one thing that was comic book stupid that I did kind of like, and I kind of liked it only because it was comic book stupid, but then it didn't pay off in any way. They all show up at the meeting at the FBI. I think this is actually in the next episode. But they all show up at the meeting in the FBI, and he's like, so he's got all of you. And it's like, or Fisk's got all of you. And he's like, we don't say his name.
Yeah. Oh, King, yeah.
We call him the Kingpin. And and the whole thing shot so straight that it's I don't know. It was like, that fucking episode of Voyager, Captain Proton and...
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like, this is just pulp levels of stupid.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. But then you're like, oh, this isn't going to be fun because I have to deal with real people.
Yeah.
Like, characters that aren't acting in a melodramatic way. Yeah. Agent Nadeem may be the physical embodiment of a paladin.
Yeah.
From D&D in this universe.
Yeah.
But he's played like a human being, and I actually care kind of what happens to him.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't work. Revelations does have a really fucking stupid scene in it, though. And it's when Karen Page shows up, and it's like, hey, have you seen Matt? And she's like, no, hey, fucking stranger. I don't think he's coming back because I lied to him. You see, I told him the whole time that I was just this nun, but it turns out I'm not just this nun. See, Matt Murdock is my son.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why are you spilling your guts to this stranger?
Yeah.
Why are you talking to Karen Page at all? Damn it.
That's what makes her such a good reporter tactic, Angel. People just open up to her.
Speaking of Karen Page, episode number 10.
Oh, God damn it.
Title, Karen.
Yeah.
If you thought Upstairs Downstairs was stupid, this is an episode all about Karen Page.
Oh my God. This was stupendous. This was a stupendous episode. Jesus Christ. I couldn't believe what they were doing. I couldn't believe what was even happening in front of my face. This is the worst episode of the series. This is maybe the worst episode of all the Netflix series combined.
So we have a solid half hour, which is like a 10, 15 year flashback to when Karen Page is a drugged up party girl who lives in a trailer.
Yeah, I guess.
And who also waits tables.
Yeah.
Her brother is an awesome guy who helps her get some student loan. I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know.
And in order to help Karen try to actually achieve all of the things that she's able, he goes and burns the trailer down so that she'll leave this guy. This guy beats the fuck out of her brother.
Yeah.
They manage to get out because she pulls a gun again.
Of course.
Shoots her boyfriend in the arm, thank goodness. And then gets her brother killed in a car accident.
Yeah.
The melodrama here
unbelievable. I mean, it was off the fucking charts.
There are writers today that are still on sick leave at the Hallmark Channel after seeing this episode. This will spawn generations.
My God.
Of straight to TV movies.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So in that way, I guess you could call it an art, but I would say this without a doubt was probably it was definitely the worst episode of Daredevil.
Oh yeah.
I cannot think of specifically even an episode of Luke Cage or Iron Fist that I dislike more than this.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this was just like this was it. This was I cannot handle Karen Page as a fucking character anymore. She is completely psychotic. And it's just awful. It's just awful how they write her. She is so fucking two-dimensional, like, right? Because here are her two basic extremes. She's either a fucking victim or a fucking martyr. That's it. That's all she's ever playing against, right? I'm a martyr because, like, my dad doesn't know how to run the business, and I have to stick around and run the business. That's what I have to do.
Occasionally, she's uncannily qualified to do things.
Well, yes, yeah. I mean, she does just fall into shit. Like, I work at this business now. I'm a fucking reporter, and I'm the best reporter apparently. Immediately.
You remind me so much of whatever that guy's name is.
It's so fucking stupid. So she's a martyr for her fucking family in this stupid small town in a trailer. But of course she's like dating a drug dealer and drugged up because she's unhappy as well. And then brother submits her fucking college application or whatever to some stupid fucking insert random Ivy League school here. And she's like, no, because whatever. So I have to do this.
Save the diner.
The diner is so important because mom died and all this shit. And then what the fuck happened? Then she has like a fight at the table with her dad out of nowhere. He's like, you should go fucking do this thing. No, and by the way, mom really hated you for making her stay in this town with this diner. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you trying to? It's because she just loves the drama so much. I swear to God. And so, of course, that pisses her fucking dad off and the whole rest of the family.
I know that you killed my only son, but
yeah.
Let me see if I can't piss you off a little bit more.
God, it's so bad. It's so fucking badly written. And that's the episode where it's like, I don't understand how anyone could even watch that and still have any sympathy for this character. It's kind of the Michael Burnham thing a little bit. Like, I'm sorry, but your character is crazy. Like, I cannot empathize with any of this. Everything you do is so fucking stupid and ridiculous and irrational that it doesn't surprise me that you ended up killing your brother in a car accident. Like, you're a fucking idiot. This is what happens to idiots. I'm sorry, What else do you want from me?
I can't follow you all the way to Michael Burnham, but...
No, she's not that bad. It's along those lines where you have a fucking lunatic that you are expected to sympathize with.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
That much is true. Karen's like a 7 or an 8 on that scale, and naturally Burnham's turned it all the way up.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This was the word. This was just there. I mean, there are no words for.
And it gets worse. It gets worse because that was only the first half of the episode.
God.
So the episode ends with Dex going to the mass where he kills Lantham.
Of course he does. Yeah.
Daredevil versus Daredevil fight number 2 or 3 ensues.
Yeah.
And this time, the winner of all people is Karen Page.
Yeah.
Oh my God. When she hit Dex with that cross, I was so fucking angry. I will back us up for just 1/2 of 1 second, and then you can be as mad as you want.
Okay.
I thought that you would like this scene because there was they lit the whole church in this deep red.
Yeah.
And you're looking at it, you're like, well, this doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It kind of feels a little sinister, but I feel like Midget Radio would really appreciate just the color palette that's going on here.
It's hard. It was hard. I think I was still coming off of the Karen. I just couldn't, because that was shocking. It floored me how completely bad that was. That the rest of it was just kind of a dull blur to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I couldn't appreciate. And then it's of course he kills the father, because of course he does. Because of course he does. Of course that happens in this stupid fucking terribly written show. Of course that fucking happens. The guy who's had a relationship with Matt throughout all of the seasons that we've seen fucking dies, and he dies before having done something bad to Matt that Matt just can't forgive. Of course that fucking happens, because that's how terrible this show was being written.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, you burden Matt with this thing that can never be resolved.
This
it's just going to hang around
soap opera thing, yeah,
like an albatross.
Yeah,
it's exactly what it's exactly as melodramatic as you want it to be.
Yeah.
But it's just terrible.
It's awful.
and here's the thing about this episode. Essentially, this episode is named Karen after the character Karen.
Yeah.
And Karen, because she's in the church, manages to get a much better character killed. And holy fuck, I can't forgive that.
Yeah.
Because, Lantham has been, a lot of the best episodes from season 1 were, Matt goes and talks to the father, and he's like, I'm doing this thing, and like, I don't know if it's right or wrong. And that's the kind of interesting, and we've brought this up so many times, Star Trek thing, where it's like, in order to have a good thought, you have to be able to question ideas. And Lantham is there, and he's always playing, strangely enough, devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And also, at the same time, he's also kind of a moral shepherd.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job in the first 2 seasons, and then you just fucking kill him.
For the cheap drama. Yeah.
And it's in a stupid fucking Karen episode.
Yeah.
And like, that's the thing that kills me, because it's like, now, like, if you wanted to make season 4, you've really screwed the pooch here.
Big time. Yeah.
This episode is irredeemably bad.
Yeah. There's little coming back from it. And honestly, because your next best bet, right? One of the more interesting things about Murdoch was this constant fucking need to confess. And the next best bet you have there is Sister Maggie, and you have this fucking baggage on that relationship now. You have this stupid soap opera baggage sitting on that just gets in the way. That's all it fucking does. It just gets in the way of what could be like a good relationship, of an authentic relationship between these two characters. You have to saddle it with this daytime soap shit. I fucking hate it.
This was a really, really bad episode.
Yeah, it was. It can't be overstated how bad this episode was. I mean, especially considering where Daredevil was seasons 1 and 2. I mean, this falls so fucking hard.
If you put this episode, somehow shoehorn it into into season 1 or 2, it probably by itself drops the rating for the show.
Oh yeah.
By 1 to 2 stars by itself.
Easily. Fucking easily.
Oh, I hated it. I hate Karen Page so much.
Oh yeah, me too. This was it. I can't deal with it. I can't handle her as a fucking character anymore. She's completely psychotic. It's just, she is just a mechanism for fucking drama. Like, she's not a person. Like, that's the issue. She's not really a person. She's not a human being. She's just this fucking vehicle for crying and drama and horseshit. It's just, it's depressing to me, like how badly written she is as a character, and goddamn.
A vehicle for crying. I love it. I would love to shit on this episode for hours, but I'm gonna move us on to episode number 11.
All right.
This one is called Reunion. Dex and Nadim take control of the church crime scene. Things don't make a lot of sense, to be completely honest, but the whole point is to let Nadim continue to be the good guy when Karen surrenders very specifically to the NYPD. Nadim convinces Dex of a somewhat plainly obvious fact that he can't murder Karen Page in the middle of a crowd of like 50 cops.
It would seem to make sense.
Because this apparently isn't really obvious to Dex.
Yeah.
And because writing is hard.
Yeah, it is. Especially when you get toward the end. Gotta resolve this shit, man.
DBZ, draw it to the end. Meanwhile, Fisk tries to get his painting back so that it will be there when Vanessa comes back to town. Turns out this painting was specifically owned by some Jews who were murdered by Nazis. And the surviving owner stares Fisk down about it in a scene that makes me wonder what the point is. So, like, specifically, I don't know if this scene is to point out how despicable Dex is supposed to be, or if it's supposed to try to make me feel like Fisk is a human being.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I can certainly see that. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, at this point in the fucking series, I was giving up.
So anyway, Fisk doesn't take the painting because apparently he's a sympathetic character and
Right.
doesn't realize that his girlfriend is a psychopath. More on that later.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. This is kind of about the time when I felt like D'Onofrio starts to emerge from the just heavy lifting that he had to do for several. Like he wasn't given a lot of interesting stuff to work with throughout most of this season.
No. Yeah.
And so he was kind of wasted.
Yeah.
And then you have this scene, and I felt like now he's playing an actual human being.
Yeah.
And like I can deal with a villain who can also be a sympathetic character.
Yeah.
And I know that that's probably unpopular in today's culture, but
at the same time, I mean, that's season 1 of Daredevil, man.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, he's fucking brutally violent, and just mesmerizing, and kind of like I almost want to say adorable. Like,
well, he's got a childlike need for escape.
Yeah.
For peace and serenity.
Yeah, that he finds in these yeah.
And you do get the sense that like he's a wounded character. The problems with his personality are at least in some way rooted in his past.
Yeah.
Now he wasn't a strong enough person or a wise enough person to overcome them, so he's become this psychopath that does murder people with car doors.
Yeah.
But there's still that bit of humanity and kind of wanting to even escape, maybe even as he's this rich and powerful person, he still wants to escape the hell of his own life.
Yeah.
And like now it's not his father who's really, imposing that hell on him. He is actually creating a lot of it himself.
Yeah.
And kind of one of the interesting things, if you watch or rewatch season 1, Fisk makes tons of mistakes. People are telling him, Fisk, you are fucking this up. And like he continues to do it because he's a human character.
Yeah.
And you get to see him through the highs and the lows. You do not get to see him through highs and the lows. In this, he's just, a mustache twirling.
He's a godlike manipulator. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's got the crime magic.
Yeah.
And it's just too bad. You get a little bit of that here. Then they kind of, whatever, Dex gets the painting. There's blood on the painting.
Yeah, as he killed that girl, I guess. And yeah. Great.
Episode 12?
Yeah.
One last shot. Fisk is reunited with Vanessa. They get married. Foggy and Karen launch a last-ditch effort to make... or to take Fisk down through legitimate means.
Yeah.
They convinced Nadim to agree to ruin his life to do the right thing.
Yeah.
I actually kind of liked this, but it fucking got thrown away. Anyway,
Yep.
Tara agrees to actually do something about this. Of course, Fisk owns the grand jury.
Of course he does. God knows when he did it, but yeah, he does.
So
I mean,
the
again,
whole
it's
thing
just
fails.
Dark Knight Joker. Yeah. Sure.
Agent Nadim gets killed, which I didn't really love. Which is actually too bad because I liked him. Anyway, the point is that none of this works because Fisk owns everyone.
Everything and everybody, and yeah.
There's nothing you can do. It's just so powerful.
Yep.
The only answer is violence.
Yep.
I did say that I kind of liked where this was going, and I would have kind of liked to see this move back into a courtroom sort of setting,
Well,
and to have Nadim, like that would have been an interesting thing if they could have done it well. To have Nadim have to go to jail and to serve time,
Yeah.
for being this unwavering white knight who, for one moment, made the wrong decision. Because that kind of says something about your duty to other people. Yeah. Because it's not enough to be, good most of the time.
Yeah.
These little things that we do to hurt each other can actually have pretty lasting consequences. Yeah. Now, granted, this is a little blown out of proportion, but whatever.
It is. But I mean, at the same time, especially after all of the completely asinine fucking plot twists we have just talked about. Just go to the court. Just go to the court and resolve this in a fucking reasonable, rational manner that I don't have to sit and be like, what the fuck? What the fuck is happening? God. Just give me a break, man. Go to the court.
Sort of glad that at least you and I agree that this season went off the rails. Because, holy shit, I was like, God, if I have to argue this for several hours, it's going to be rough.
Oh, yeah. No.
But I'm not, so far, now we do have one episode left.
Yeah, we do.
So far, I'm not seeing where, though my annoyance started with this quite a bit earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing where, either of us are really arguing that the general premise of our dislike is flawed.
No, I don't see it. We need someone else to fucking point out what a bunch of cunts we are, which is fine. I'm happy to have someone do that.
I thought you only liked positive comments.
That's true.
I'll read them to you in a very soothing voice.
I appreciate that.
So anyway, I have one episode left. It's episode number 13. It's called A New Napkin, I think. I'm not sure why.
Oh, because of the... Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Matt decides that he has to kill Fisk, which actually he's kind of decided before, but they talked him out of it. But now he's definitely, we have to kill Fisk.
Yeah.
So he manages to show Dex that Fisk killed his not-girlfriend.
Yeah.
This starts to make less sense later when Dex is killing lots of people.
Yeah.
And then Matt suddenly starts to fight with him.
I didn't understand that. Yeah.
And then Dex wants to kill Fisk himself. Yeah. But Daredevil will have none of it.
He's like, no, that's not cool. Yeah.
I
didn't understand. Yeah.
I guess. No, you can't kill him. I have to kill him.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why don't you just not kill him and not be a murderer and just be like, well, I just walked out. Whatever. I can feel good about myself.
Yeah.
Anyway, Dex gets paralyzed in the fight with Fisk, a burden that he nearly has to bear to the end of this very episode.
Yeah.
Before science magic is revealed that can cure him.
Yeah.
So they fight. Fisk agrees to return to prison as long as Vanessa isn't implicated.
Yeah,
even though they know that Vanessa ordered the death of Agent Nadine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever. Foggy, Matt, and Karen reunite. They decide that maybe they'll restart this stupid fucking nonsense. Yeah. They bury one of my favorite characters. And the show's over.
Yeah. Yeah. There was so as illogical and irrational as I found that entire fight to be, I enjoyed the fight itself overall, but it didn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense because you're like, okay, well, Daredevil's gonna piss off Bullseye to go kill Fisk, right? And you're like, okay, that seems like a pretty solid plan. He doesn't give a shit. That seems like that's probably gonna work. But then he gets into the fucking hotel room, and then he's fighting Bullseye. I don't really understand why. I don't understand why you have a problem with him now, because he just plowed through a bunch of FBI agents to get up there, right?
I'm fairly certain he didn't kill them.
He probably didn't. He certainly at least wasn't trying to only knock them out or something. I don't think he was. Yeah,
he was throwing those sticks, and those sticks are deadly.
So that didn't make any fucking sense at all. But God, I don't know. And this was all Charlie Cox. The only thing I really liked in that entire scene was when he had Fisk on his knees. And he was like, this city beat you. I beat you. I don't know why. Charlie Cox's delivery of that was like, fuck yeah, like that was, I don't know, man. I loved just that exchange. Cause he's been wanting, like, just cause Charlie Cox is so fucking great, and he's been wanting to say that shit to Fisk, that he fucking beat him. This guy he's been obsessed with. And he finally fucking put him on his fucking knees, and he revels in that moment.
I really, really hated that scene.
Really? Oh, I loved it. Oh God, yeah. I loved that.
Well, here's the thing. Because at the end of it, what do we get? We get Vincent D'Onofrio saying, "I would do anything to protect Vanessa." And you're just like, God, it's episode 1.
Yeah.
It's fucking episode 1.
Yeah.
You have the, like, I like Charlie Cox well enough. He's great. But he's no Vincent D'Onofrio. And what you did is you've got Vincent D'Onofrio, and he starts and he finishes on the same note, and he has no growth in between. He has no interesting arc. He just had that one glimmer where he didn't kill a Jewish lady over a painting.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's just so fucking sad.
Yeah.
And then, like, Vanessa's there, and you're like, God, am I going to have to deal with season 4 where Vanessa Fisk is in charge of everything?
I don't want to do that.
But
I don't want to do that because they can't. They're not going to be able to handle it, because the thing that was interesting about season 1 was that you never really understood. Like, I never really understood where Vanessa stood with Fisk. I didn't really get it, and I liked that mystery. And I kind of didn't understand. Like, you kind of got the sense that, like, she's attracted to this guy. Definitely, she's attracted to his powers. She's attracted maybe to a little bit of the bad. Which is cool, but like the fact that it kind of was a little bit nebulous is sort of what made it interesting, and it's what works for Fisk as a character. Like, his attraction to her and all of that stuff has to be a little bit, it has to be up for question. And they even address that a little bit in this season. There's a scene between him and her where he's even questioning, like, whether his attraction to her is even real, like whether the things that he feels about her are actually because he loves her, or because he loves, like, the reflection of himself in her eyes. Like, that's fucking awesome that he's not sure if he's a narcissist or if he actually loves this other person. That's great shit.
So that's kind of the thing that also pushes me towards really hating this scene. Because Vanessa is kind of like this idealized portrait of a person in his mind. And then she gives the order to kill Agent Nadine. And, like, there's a part of you that's like, maybe this has shattered him. Maybe, like, in the sense that we look at, if we look at Dex as a character who should even be in this fucking thing. And, like, his North Star was Julie, and before that it was his psychiatrist who he wants to murder for dying. Anyway, so, like, maybe he realizes his North Star is, not what he thought it was, and he has idealized something that isn't even real. Yeah. That he's painted over Vanessa with this veil of like, he's always kind of, like, tried to keep her away from things that he does because the things he does are awful, and he knows it. And then he sees that she is just as vile and bloodthirsty. And, like, maybe that makes him realize that, like, this isn't a thing that I should want. Yeah. And like, that would have at least been some sort of advancement of the character. Yeah. But instead it's just, I don't do anything to save Vanessa. Fuck. Yeah. I know. God damn it. I get it. Now you're in jail. Now I have to deal with this lady. Yeah. It's fine.
I get it. And we're in territory now where, like, they have to actually explore that relationship. Like, in season 1 it works as just, I don't really understand, and it's kind of a mystery, but, like, now that it's established and everything, they actually have to try to explore that, and they're not gonna, and I mean, based on this season, they're not gonna fucking do it. And if they try it, they're gonna do a goddamn horrible job of it. We're gonna find out that, like, Vanessa is really his cousin, and it's just gonna be psychotic and stupid and soap opera, and it's whatever. But I could listen to Charlie Cox scream "I beat you" all day. He's fucking awesome.
I mean, I have no problems with Charlie Cox's performance. I like him a lot as Daredevil. There's just so many just massively disappointing things that happened in this season. You take away, you strip away his faith. You take away the possibility of redemption. You kill the character that was essentially his conscience.
Yeah.
And you take the best actor that you have through a straight line voyage with one minor detour, and he ends up strangely back at the same place.
Yeah.
And it's just, what a fucking waste of time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you know. So I want to say like a couple of positive things. So overall, I'm okay.
We like to sprinkle these things in.
I know, very conservatively, but I will say I'm okay. I enjoy Matt Murdock's basic journey throughout this season. I like that he was angry and wanted to push everyone away and basically just go out and beat on fucking people every night. And the like the last episode kind of was all he kind of realizes maybe I need fucking people in my life and I, you know, can't be a fucking loner and all that shit. I'm all right with that. The other thing I kind of enjoyed by the end of the series, I sort of like kind of started to come around on Foggy a lot, and it was just because of the like, I know Matt's a fucking dick, but like I'm gonna be his friend whether he lets me or not. Like, I don't know, I kind of like that part of his character. So I was like,
Midget Radio, you'll be surprised to learn that I can relate to that.
I'm sure that you can. But like that's Foggy like standing up for something and not being a fucking pussy the whole, like I don't know, I just liked him. I just liked that aspect. Like, I know he stole, I know he almost got me like I know what a piece of shit he is.
Foggy actually didn't really
Foggy
actually didn't really bother me that much in this season.
Yeah.
Usually he is the wet blanket that is only slightly less wet than Karen.
Just barely. Yeah.
But Karen at this point is like the bed sheets on the Titanic.
Yeah. Yeah. She has fallen way behind.
And I feel like Foggy for the most part like was drying in the breeze most of this time.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, as you're saying all that stuff that is, you know, moderately not terrible about this season, I still wonder, like, where does the show go after this? Because I just have a hard time envisioning them being able to recapture that, because like at a certain point the Fonz jumps the shark, and like
it does. Yeah, it does. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, well, like we said at the beginning of this episode, like I'm content for the show to just get on base, you know? I mean, it doesn't have to be this huge fucking epic long thing. They don't need all of these fucking plot twists. It just be, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I do know that I don't want to deal with like Vanessa Fisk, former art dealer, now criminal mastermind, in the fourth season, you know. That's asinine. So yeah, I don't know, and I certainly don't know enough about like Daredevil comics bullshit to even guess where they would go from here.
Yeah. It's kind of nice being halfway in and halfway out on comic books, knowing a lot about general comic book nonsense, and actually liking the character of Daredevil, but not being... I mean, if we wanted to talk about being knee-deep in bullshit, I could I could ask you to explain all of the things about Wolverine's character that don't make a lot of sense. And this podcast would be 6 to 8 hours long, and it would only end because you passed out.
Yeah, probably.
But like, I don't know. I don't want them to not make comic book things, but like, I have a real hard time envisioning how this series recovers from the just awful things that happened in this.
I don't know. I don't know, unless honestly it just feels to me at this point where it's like you would have to go back to like network TV basics. Man, give me an A and a B plot. And fuck off at the end of the episode, you know. Come back, give me another A and B plot. And then go fuck yourself.
Go watch Burn Notices, you assholes.
Right? Just don't try to do anything too big. Don't need to do it. Don't need to do it.
Any closing thoughts then, Midget Radio?
Other than like I've read a couple of the reviews for this season, but I don't understand any of them. I mean, certainly some of the ones I've read have been like positive on even the Karen episode. Jesus Christ. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't know what we're missing, Tactic Angel. I don't know what we're missing.
Well, I was about to say I'd rather cut my own dick off than watch that again, but that might be overstating it. One's a little bit too permanent.
Yeah.
Anyway, with that, I haven't seen any of the reviews, and I basically, all the things that I have to say are my personal reactions to it. Some of which you got in legitimately of the moment reactions.
What a treat it was.
Right? Well, that's what everyone will say about episode number 70 of the Wednesday Night Gentlemen Multimedia Empire official podcast. Please give us a like if you've enjoyed this video. Subscribe to our channel because that would be a good use of your time. You can also find us on Twitter where we are at WNG_MME_OPC, or head on over to Facebook where we are simply the Wednesday Night Gentlemen. Thank you everybody for listening. We will see you again on episode number 71 where we talk about Castlevania.
Bye-bye.
Yes, that's the end.
Bye-bye.